Namaskar. Uh, dear viewers, welcome. Our today's session is about the capital market and the depository services. When we talk about the capital market, the first thing that comes to our mind is what does the capital market do and why we need the capital market. So, what does the capital market do? Basically, capital market provides a platform which bring investors and the business borrowers together in an efficient way and help better utilization of resources to create a healthy and global economy. It also affects the lives of people in many ways, like expanding a business by raising financial capital, providing investment opportunities to the investors in various asset class, business risk also reduced, and expenses are also reduced in expenses related to financial capital acquiring. It is being reduced, so it is a win-win situation for everybody, for investors as well as the business officials. Why we need the capital market in India? So if we discuss about the why we need the capital market, we just need to go to the back days when there was no capital market or money market. At that time, what will be the scenario? Scenario for the businesses, the cost of doing businesses will be higher because of limited resources of raising capital, and for the investors, limited options for doing an investments. Like they will have an opportunity to do an investment. In earlier days, the investment opportunity was in real estate, gold, silver, deposits, etc. So now with the capital market, evolution of the capital market have given lots of options for the investors as well as for the business officials, business persons to raise money, and given an option to investors for investment. If we discuss about the capital market in India, so capital market in India is the oldest in Asia Pacific region. The first stock exchange of India was incorporated in 1875, and from 1875 till now, it's almost 147 years. And in these 147 years, Indian capital market have seen lots of reforms and lots of challenges. Like earlier there was an outcry trading system. From that outcry trading system, we have moved to the screen-based trading system. Earlier there was a physical certificate form. We have moved to the depository system. So there are lots of reforms that the Indian capital market have seen in these 147 years. Please allow me to concentrate on the depository services. My session will be on the depository services today, and the flow of presentation will be introduction to the capital market and the depository services, the services which the depository offer, transmission of the securities if you have a Demit account, how, and if something happens to the account holder, how what will be how the nominee will claim the shares, pledge, taking loans if I want to take in a loan against the securities, the pledge facility, various other facilities like pledging, margin pledge, etc. Basic service Demit account as per the regulators, the basic service Demit account facility, consolidate account statement facility, some digital services, and if any grievance is there, to investor grievance reversal mechanism. So that will be discussing in our session today. We start with the introduction of the capital market. Basically, capital market can be categorized in two parts. One is primary market and other one is the secondary market. Primary market is something where the issuers or the companies directly sell their stake to the investors. So that's a primary market. Like IPO, initial public offering, is in a part of primary market. OFS, offer for sale, is in a part of primary market. Private equity placement is in a part of primary market. Other than right issue is in a part of primary market. So these all comes into the primary market part. So where investors are getting shares directly from the company, that's a primary market. Other part is the secondary market. Secondary market is something, if I have bought the securities from the primary market and I want to take out my investment, so that then secondary market comes into the picture. Role of stock exchange come into the picture. The secondary market, after buying or selling after buying the securities from the primary market, the secondary market comes into the picture. If I have not purchased the securities from primary market and now I want to do an investment in securities, so then secondary market will come into the picture. Primary market, the company sell stock to the public for the first time. I've already discussed. This is done through a process known as initial public offering. Initial public offering is in a part of the primary market. Secondary market, investors and traders buy securities, buy or sell stocks to each other. So stock exchange platforms come to the picture where the buying and selling takes place. The company does not participate in these transactions. When the secondary market comes into the picture, the company doesn't have any role for buying and selling of the securities. The company have a role in primary market only. When secondary market comes into the picture, it's a stock exchange platform where the buyer and seller meets, and when their order matches, the trade gets executed, and after that the settlement of the trade will be done. So that's a secondary market. Now, if I want to do an investment in capital market, what should I do? What's the requirement for doing an investment in capital market? I must have 3 accounts if I want to do any investment in capital market. One is the bank account, because capital market, in case of capital market, no cash transaction is allowed. If you want to do an investment in capital market, that will be done through the bank account only. So I need a bank account. The second account is then a Demit account. Demit account I will be required if I want to buy some stocks, some securities, then Demit account will be required. Basically, Demit account is being opened with a depository participants, and this account is being used to hold the securities. Like you use your bank account for holding funds if you have some money, so that you keep in your bank account. So similarly, you have a Demit account option to keep your securities in Demit account. Third account is being used for capital market is then a trading account. Trading account is something which allows the investors to buy or sell the security. It is being opened with a broker, a registered broker, registered with any stock exchange. You need to open a trading account. Through Demit, through trading account, you can place the order for buying or selling of securities. So the 3 accounts will be required. One is the bank account for paying, or if you are buying the securities, so for paying money. If you are selling, for getting money, you need a bank account. Demit account for holding and transaction of securities, you need a Demit account. Third, for placing the order, buying or selling order, you need a trading account. Now, if I want to open an account, Demit or trading account, I think bank account, everybody is aware that if I want to open a bank account, what should I do? I just need to approach a bank branch and just fill up the account opening form, or just attach the KYC document along with that, and with that I can with that branch will open a bank account for me. Similarly, if I want to open a Demit and trading account, what's the requirement of opening a Demit and trading account? Some as per guidelines, few documents are required for opening any Demit or trading account. The first is the PAN card. If I want to do an investment in the capital market, PAN card is must. If I don't have a PAN card, I will not be allowed to do any investment in the capital market. So for investment in capital market, PAN card is must. The second part is the proof of identity. PAN card itself can be considered as a proof of identity. The other is proof of address. I need a proof of address for opening a Demit or trading account. Along with that, some other documents I need to provide, like my bank details I need to provide for opening a Demit or trading account. Some my photographs need to be given to the in the account opening form. I need to do any signatures. Some these formalities I need to do for opening a trading and Demit account. And if I am opening in a physical account, I need to submit the physical account opening form to the DP and broker, and they will open the Demit and trading account for me. If I am doing an online account opening, I just need to approach the members website, DP or broker's website, and there will be an option for online account opening, and with that also I will be able to open the Demit and trading account. Now, who are allowed to open Demit or trading account, who can invest in the capital market? Anybody, any Indian can do an investment in capital market. Even the foreigners are also allowed to do an investment in capital market, but with some restrictions, some rules and they need to follow. If as per the RBI guidelines, they need to follow that rules if the foreigners want to do an investment in capital market. So any individual can open a Demat account or trading account. Maximum 3 holders may be there in a Demat or trading account. More than if there are more than 3 holders, so they are not allowed to open the Demat account. So in a Demat account, maximum 3 holders may be there. Any HUF is allowed to open a Demat account. HUF account will be the sole account. HUF cannot open a joint account. Minor are also allowed to open a Demat account, but under the guardianship. Minor need to have a guardian. Guardian will open the account on the behalf of minor. Till the minor is there, so guardian will operate the account. As soon as the minor turns into the major, the rights will be transferred to the major and the account holder, and then account holder will operate the account. NRI, non resident Indian, NRI are also allowed to open a Demat and trading account, but they need to follow the FEMA regulations, that Foreign Exchange Management Act regulation. They need to follow if they want to do an investment in capital market. Corporate, any corporates are also, corporate companies, they are also allowed to open a Demat and trading account. They are also do an investment in the capital market. Trusts, registered trusts are also allowed to open Demat and trading account and do an investment in capital market. Any banks, domestic institutional investors, they are also allowed to invest. Foreign portfolio investors, FPIs, are also allowed to do an investment in capital market. So that again, the FPI, if FPI is doing an investment, so some guidelines are there that need to be followed by that FPI if they want to do an investment in capital market. So now, like I told, that Indian capital market is around 147-year-old. So Indian capital market started in 1875. From 1875, the capital market, the transaction in the capital market were being done in physical certificate form till 1996. 1875 to 1996. All the transaction, all the shares, all the stocks which were being traded in capital market, that was being held in physical certificate form. It's almost 120 years, more than 120 years, the Indian capital market was running in physical certificate form. Then why we need the depository system? What happened that we need the depository system? And what are the benefits of the depository system? Depository system came into existence in 1996. From 1996, the first depository was formed after the Depository Act was passed by Indian Parliament. So what happened that after 120 years with the we need the depository system. There were lots of hurdles with the physical certificate form. That's why we need the depository. We required the depository system. And now wherever you see the market, depository have a big role that in the just to reach to the investors. The large extent of investors are doing an investment in capital market, that the one of the region is the depository system. It's a fantastic system. There were lots of hurdle with the physical certificate, like lots of paperwork, lots of certificates need to be printed. If a company want to come up with an IPO and there are 1 lakh LOTs, they need to print the 1 lakh certificate. They need to print their names, folio number, certificate number, district number, lots of information on a piece of paper. And after the printing the certificate, they need to dispatch that certificate to the LOT. The time consuming process, that was in a paper, lots of papers need to be worked out, and that was in a time consuming process. So depository system have eliminated that dispatch and printing of certificates. So it's now faster. Within T+6, if a company is coming up with an IPO is closed today, within 6 days IPO gets allotted and the trading also gets started shortly. Lots of hurdles. The other hurdles were fake certificate. That was one of the problem. I got my certificate, and then I have gone to my broker for selling of the securities. I have sent it to the broker. Broker have sent it to the exchanges, and then exchanges have sent it to the buyer broker. Buyer have given it to the buyer client. Buyer client have sent it to the company for change of name. But it was in a fake certificate. That was one of the biggest issue. So now in the electronic form, that has been eliminated. So this was one of the issue. So bad deliveries part has been eliminated in the depository system. uh, uh, Time consuming process, like I already told, that the settlement cycle was longer. If I have a physical certificate, I want to sell it, so settlement will be done when I will hand over the certificate to the buyer. Means I will give it to my broker will give it to exchange will give it to the buyer broker will give it to the client, then client will say, then the settlement will take place. So settlement cycle was quite larger. Now the settlement cycle in India is T+1, T+2. T is the trading day, means if today the trading is being happen, so tomorrow the settlement will be done. Some securities have T+2 settlement. If a trading is being done on Monday, then settlement will be done on the Wednesday. So it's so fast. So there are lots of benefit which Demit system have. Securities in the Demit account are safe and easily retrievable. Means I just need to maintain a book. My securities are with the depository. There's no physical certificate, and it's quite safe and easily retrievable. I just need a statement. With it, in that statement, I will be able to see all my holding, all my transactions. Loan against shares. Most of the banks provide the facility of loan against shares these days. So like on other assets, you are eligible to take loan on your assets, like loan against property, loan against gold. So similarly, you will be you can take a loan against securities also. So most of the banks, even maximum banks, are providing loan against shares facility now. Easy and instant transfer. It's easy. It's holding the securities in Demit mode, in electronic mode, is very easy. Instant transfer. If you want to transfer the securities in physical certificate form, that will take time. That's a time consuming process. But in case of Demit, it is very easy. You just need to give an instruction to your DP. Your DP, as soon as the DP enters the request in the system, in the depository system, securities will be transferred to the buyer. So that's so easy, and it's instant. So as soon as the instruction is being entered, even now the depositories are giving an online facility also. If you are comfortable in using the online systems, you yourself will be able to transfer the securities from one account to other account. So it's instant and easy for transfer. Mutual funds. Now if you are investing in mutual funds, so you can hold your mutual fund units also in Demit mode. One other benefit of Demit account is nomination. Like I am holding, say, 100 scripts in my portfolio. I have 100 scripts. So if I want to update a nominee, I just need to approach 100 companies for updation of nominee in physical certificate form. But in Demit mode, it is not there. I just need to approach my DP, update my nomination in my Demit account, and it will be updated on all 100 securities. And maximum 3 nominee can be given in single Demit account. So this is one of the benefit. So if we always advise the account holders, Demit account holders, to update their nominee, because if something happens to the account holders, nominee, it's very easy. If the nomination is updated, it's very easy for the nominee to file a claim. Services. What are the services that are being offered by a depository? The first is account opening. Depository doesn't open the Demit account directly for the investor. So for that, we have appointed depository participant. Depository deals through the depository participants. Depository participants are an agent of the depository, basically, who gives the services on behalf of depository to the investors. So the first service is an account opening. If I want to open a Demit account, I just need to approach any DP. And currently there are 2 depositories in India, so I need to approach any DP registered with these depositories. The DP may be registered with both the depository. There are few DPs which have registered with a single depository. So I just need to approach any DP. The more than 600 DPs are there, and to open a Demit account. I just need to complete the formalities. The multiple ways of account opening, like I already told. If I want to do a physical account opening is possible. If I want to do an online account opening, lots of members are giving online account opening facility also. Though the services, the other services is the dematization. Like we have discussed, the Indian capital market is 147-year-old, and depository system came in 1996. So just 25 years ago, 26 years ago, the depository system came. So from 1875 till 1996, the system were being run in the physical certificate form. So it is possible I or my family members have the securities which have been purchased earlier, before 1996. Before the depository system was introduced, the security were purchased. So we may have some physical certificate at that time. So depository provides the facility for converting those physical securities in electronic form. So that option is being known as the dematerialization. So converting physical certificate into electronic form is known as the dematerialization. The other facility which depository provides is the rematerialization. Rematerialization is the reverse of demat. If I have a demat account, I have some securities in my demat account, and I want to convert them the physical certificate form. It is possible to convert your securities in physical certificate form. But if you want to buy or if you want to sell the securities in the market, then buying or selling securities through physical certificate form is not possible. If I want to buy or if I want to sell the securities, I need to convert them into the electronic form only. Only dematerialized securities can be traded into the market. So rematerialization is possible, but for buying and selling, I need to go to the dematerialized mode only. Transfer of securities, this is the one of the facilities that the depository provides. Transfer against trade. If I have sold the securities, I will be allowed to transfer to the members pool account or the exchange account. So that's a transfer the depository provides. Change of beneficial owner. Change of beneficial owner means transfer of market. If I want to do a trade out of the market, so that off market transfer means from one investor to other investor. I am not going through the stock exchange platform. I know someone one of my friend is looking to buy some securities, and I want to sell the securities to my friend through that is out of the exchange platform. So that is possible. That is an off-market trade. The off-market trade is possible. That's a change of beneficial owner. From one account to other account, securities are allowed to transfer. Settlement of trades, on-market transfer, settlement of trades on exchanges connected to the depository. On-market transfer, that means I have sold the securities through exchange platform. So that transfer depository provides. Investor can avail these services only through the depository participants that we have already discussed. If I want to avail any services of depository, I need to approach the depository participant. There are more than 600 depository participants registered in India, registered with SEBI and the depositories. So I need to approach any one of them to get the depository services. So if I want to avail any of the depository services. Many stockbrokers and bank function as a DP. There are lots of, like I already told, that's more than 600 members. So these 600 members includes the banks also. So many banks are also providing the depository participant facility. There are many brokers, stockbrokers. They are also providing the depository participant facility. There are custodians also who are providing the DP, depository participant facility. So just investor need to approach any one of them to get the DP services. Demat, securities and depository. Now there are assumptions, there are myths that if I have a physical custody of the securities, that's safe, that is in my hand. But if you have the securities in your Demat account, that is 100% safe and secure. So it is in your name. The actual custody of the electronic securities is with the depository, and it is 100% safe and secure. So opening a Demat account is also 100% safe and secure. And the other facility which I can opt for, the transmission, like we have already discussed about the account opening, rematerialization, transfer of securities. So there's one more facility, this is transmission of securities. Just few time back we discussed that nomination. Depository account provides the nomination facility also. So if something happens to the account holders, to the Demit account holder, the transmission option is available with the nominee. The nominee just need to approach the respected DP where the account is, and nominee will be able to file the transfer request, the transmission request with the DP. So transfer of securities in a Demit account due to death or bankruptcy, lunacy, etc. in the account holder. This is not a voluntary act. This transmission process will take place only when there is a death of the account holder or lunacy, etc. If only in these cases the transmission process will take place. So if a account holder is still alive, then transmission process will not come into the picture. The transfer is brought by the operation of law, that is, a person cannot ask for transmission of shares from her own Demit account. So means person is alive, that will not be allowed to transfer the securities through transmission if the person is still alive. The transmission process through depository is simple and fast. So again, this is one of the benefit in the depository system. Like I have just that example which I have given earlier also. If I have 100 of securities, 100 of scripts in my portfolio, and something happens to the account holder, something happens to me, in case of physical certificate, the nominee need to approach each and every company for transmission of securities, transmission of that securities. They need to approach company or RTA for each and every company and RTA for transmission. So that's a time consuming process, and again lots of work need to be done. But in case of Demit, I just need to approach my DP. The nominee just need to approach the account holder DP for transmission, for execution of transmission. So again, the transmission process needs few documents. If the nominee is registered, the process of transmission will be very easy. Just need to fill up the transmission form, attach few documents along with the transmission form, and submit it to the DP. DP will execute the transmission request based on the value, etc. Thus, some due diligence need to be done by the DP for execution of transmission. Nomination, maximum 3 nominee can be given in a single Demit account, and account holders are allowed to give the ratio also, to define the ratio, that this security, this percentage of securities will go to this nominee, these percent of securities will go to this nominee. So the percentage may also be defined by the account holder at the time of nomination, appointing nomination. A nomination can be done at the time of account opening. If an account holder have not given the nomination at the time of account opening, they are allowed to appoint nominee at any point of time. Here we always advise, account holders to appoint nominee, because it's good for the nominee. If something happens to the account holders, so they will have a hassle-free transmission process execution, and and if the nomination is not given, so depend on the value of securities, there are lots of hurdles that the nominee will have to face for transmission process. The surviving, if the account is in a joint holder account, so how the transmission will take place, what are the steps for transmission? There may be a sole account, the single holder account will be maybe there, and there may be the joint account also. If there is a joint account, in any one of the account holders is being deceased, then securities will be transferred to the survivor holder. Nominee role will not come into the picture. The securities will be transferred to the survivor account holder. And if there is a sole account, or in case of joint account, if both the holder is deceased, then nominee or legal hirer will come into the picture. If the securities are in physical form, one would have to approach each company and their respective RTA for execution of transmission. So this was one of the facility that was being offered by the depositories. One more facility that is being offered by the depository is a pledge facility. Like at the time of initially we discussed that loan against shares. loan against shares is an option. You can take loan against your securities. So that is being done through the pledge request. Pledge deposit, pledge is something like deposit of personal property as collateral for for borrowing a loan kind of thing. Like few people take loan against property, loan against gold. So you deposit your gold. For taking loan, you deposit your gold to the lender. Similarly, there's an option for pledging of securities also. You just deposit your securities in favor of the pledge, in favor of the pledgee, in favor of the lender. So that is being known as a pledge. So investor just want to borrow the funds for any purpose, maybe for some their personal reasons, for their margins. So they just need to approach a bank, just do the agreement signing and all, whatever the terms and condition. They just both need to agree on that part. And investor, the account holder, just need to approach their DP, submit the pledge request form in favor of pledgee to their DP. DP will just execute the instruction in the depository system. That request will be transferred to the bank, or to the lenders DP. Lenders DP, based on the lender's instruction, lender DP will accept that instruction in the depository system, and securities will be pledged. And when the securities will be pledged, there will be a transfer of funds between the lender and the borrower. And once the pledge obligation is fulfilled, borrower just return the money to the lender, whatever the terms and condition they have. Borrower have returned the money to the lender. They just need to execute the unpledged instruction. So in case of pledged securities will remain into the pledger account only, into the borrower account only, but it will remain into the locked status. Borrower will not be able to transfer or sell those securities into the market. It will be in the locked status. It will be in the control. Locking will be in the control of the lender. Once the pledge obligation is fulfilled, then lender is allowed. Lender just need to give an instruction to their DP for release of those securities. Once the instruction is being executed in the depository system, securities in the borrower account will be free. Then that will be free, and then borrower will be allowed to transfer those securities from one account to other account, or sell those securities into the market. So similarly, this pledge part take place. If something happens like borrower has not fulfilled the pledge obligation, not returned the loan to the lender, then lender have the right to transfer those securities from the borrower account to their account. So that option is also available. That is known as invocation. Invocation will take place when the pledge obligation is not being fulfilled, so as per their agreement. Then the securities will be transferred. Either invocation request will be executed, and securities will be transferred from borrower account to the lender account. So these are the facilities basically the depository provides. So for small investors, few steps has been taken by the regulator. So one of the facility is being introduced if an investor is new to the capital market, and they just want to open a Demit account, they just want to do a small investment. So some options, some facilities are being offered to the new investors. That's one of the facilities, basic service Demit account. Because when you maintain a Demit account with the DP, so you need to pay some annual maintenance charges to the DP. So each and every DP have their own annual maintenance charges, depend on their services and all, what the agreement they have done with the account holder. So at the time of account opening, these charges are being disclosed, that the following charges will be taken for the services and all. So that a tariff sheet or a tariff structure need to be signed by the account holder. So for small investor, the facility is if an investor the Demit account valuation is less than 50,000, and you have opened, as an investor, you have opened account under that BSDA category, and the valuation of your Demit account, the valuation of your holding in Demit account is less than 50,000, then DP will not be able to charge an AMC, annual maintenance charges, from from the account holders. They are not allowed to charge, but the account should be open in the BSTA category. And under this facility, one investor can have only one account. If an investor have more than one account with one DP with different DPs, then this facility is not that investor is not allowed to avail that facility, that BSTA facility. If I am a new investor or even the old investor, I have only one Demat account, and I have opted for that BSDA facility. The valuation of my holding in my Demat account is less than 50,000, then DP will not be able to charge any annual maintenance charges from myself. If the valuation of holding in my Demat account is more than 50,000, if from 50,000 to rupees 2 lakh, then maximum AMC that can be charged from the investor is rupees 100 per year, not more than 100 rupees per year. That cannot be charged. That AMC more than 100 rupees in AMC cannot be charged, but the valuation should be less than 2 lakh rupees. And if the valuation is more than 2 lakh rupees, 2 lakh or more, then the DP as per the agreement between the account holder and the DP, as per the terms and conditions which they have signed, the DP is allowed to charge the AMC as per the agreement or as per the terms and conditions which they have signed. So each DP can do the AMC charges. Debt securities, for debt securities it is rupees 90,000 for that valuation. For equity shares it is rupees 40,000. The facilities which are being offered by the depository have taken initiatives for the investors. They are providing various facilities to the investors, like consolidated account statement. Sometimes an investor have multiple Demat accounts and as well as holding investment in the mutual funds also. So I am holding multiple portfolio in the capital market. I have one Demat account with one broker or the bank. I have other Demat account with other DP, third Demat account with other DP. So multiple Demat account I have, as well as I have an investment in the mutual funds also. So sometimes it may not be very much convenient for myself to take out all the statements and to reconcile all the statements. So depository have taken an initiative based on the guidelines of the regulator. Depository have taken that initiative for the investors. So depositories are sending in a single statement to the investors on their email ID. So that is being known as a consolidated account statement. If I have multiple Demat account or I have a Demat account as well as an investment in mutual fund, so there will be one single statement of the Demat which will have all my portfolio in that statement. So Demat account 1, Demat account 2, Demat account 3, mutual fund investment 1, mutual fund investment 2, mutual fund investment 3. So all these will be in a single statement. So reconciliation for an investor will be quite easy. They just need to go, they are not required to approach each and every DP, get the statement, just get them reconcile and all. In a single statement I will have all my portfolio, all my holding statement, transaction statement, debt securities if I have, mutual fund if I have. So in all the statements in the single consolidated statement, or that is being sent by the depository directly to the investor. That is not being received from the DP. That is being sent by depository directly to the investors on their email ID. So that facility is being offered, and this facility is absolutely free of cost for the investors. Investors doesn't need to pay a single penny to the depository for these services. Depositories are also offering few other facilities which are absolutely free of cost facilities to the investors, to the Demat account holders, like the online facilities. There are two parts of the online facilities. One part is a viewing of holding and transaction. If I am a Demat account, both the depository have given the name to the services. Just need to go. You may just go to the website of the depository and check the facilities. So that's an online view facility. If I have a Demat account, I just need to register my Demat account for that online view facility, and I'll be able to check my holding transaction statement anytime, anywhere. So that's a 24/7 it is available to me. And for these facilities, the mobile apps are also available. Mobile apps of the depositories are also available. So you just need to download your apps on your smartphone and will be able to check your Demit account anytime, anywhere, 24/7. The other part of the online facilities are the transaction facilities, online transactions. If I have registered for that online transaction facility of the depository, again I just need to go to the depository website, log in my account, and I'll be able to transfer securities from one account to other account. So that online transfer facilities are also available, and these facilities to the investor, these facilities are absolutely free of cost. Depository doesn't charge a single penny from the investor for these facilities. So if you are internet savvy, if you are comfortable in using online services, please get your account registered for these facilities. Other facility depository are charging in a depository are providing free of cost is the SMS facility. SMS facility is just register your mobile number and email ID in your Demit account, even though it is a mandatory now. Register your mobile number and email ID in your Demit account. Any transaction takes place in your account, you will get an SMS alert directly from the depository. So these facilities are also being offered by the depository absolutely free of cost. For all debit messages, you will get an SMS alert. For all credit messages, you will get an email alert. For IPO credit, you will get an SMS alert. So for and again, it is a free of cost facility. Just please register your mobile number and email ID with your depository. From now, if you are opening an account, so registering your mobile number and email ID in your Demit account is mandatory. Without mobile number and email ID, you will not be allowed to open your Demit account. So like PAN, we have already discussed, the PAN is in a mandatory field, mobile number is in a mandatory field, email ID is in a mandatory field if you want to open a Demit account or trading account. Statement of transaction, like we have already discussed that statement of transactions, that what consolidated account statement is being forwarded to the investor's account, so that will have a statement of transactions also. Now KYC compliance, some KYC guidelines as per the regulator guidelines, some KYC compliance need to be done by the account holders or by the shareholders. So Demit account, if you have a Demit account, so the KYC is already being done by your DP. If you have some securities in the physical certificate form, there's some old securities you have bought and you still have those securities in physical certificate form available with you. So as per the regulator guideline, you need to do the KYC for your physical securities also. You need to furnish your PAN, the PAN linked with the Aadhaar to the RTA or to the company. So that need to be done by the 31st December of this year. Contact details, postal address with PIN code, mobile number and email ID, physical or online mode, that also need to be updated with the RTA or the company. RTA need to RTA to obtain folio number from the mobile number and email ID to validate the same. So basically that KYC compliance for the physical securities also, if you have some physical security, that KYC compliance also you need to do before the 31st December. So if you bank details, again bank details are required to furnish. For Demit account opening, bank details are mandatory. Without bank details, you will not be allowed to open a Demit account. But in case of physical securities, you need to furnish the bank details to your RTA, to the RTA or company for the securities which you hold in your portfolio. So update the bank name, branch account number, IFSC code with the RTA or issuer for the physical securities you have in your portfolio. Update the nominee details. So if you don't want to appoint a nominee in your account, just that's the cancellation or change in nomination, that form need to be provided if you are not willing to appoint a nominee in your securities. That option is there, but again we will suggest to appoint a nominee in your portfolio. So the few few steps that you may take while dealing in the capital market. Avoid stock tips on the social media. When we start dealing in the capital market, sometimes we get calls or sometimes we get some hot tips that just buy these securities, you will be millionaire over one night. So please avoid those sticks on the social when that tips which you are getting from the social media or tips which you are getting from your links. So avoid using that tips, avoid trading on that tips because it is it's your hard earned money. It's if somebody who's giving a tip, if someone has a tip, they will make their own money. Why will they will give their tips to you? So please avoid just hot tips. If you get some links, some social media tips, so please you avoid using the tips, avoid doing transaction on those tips. Whenever you want to deal with an intermediary, check their registration status, whether the intermediary is registered with the SEBI. The SEBI is the regulator of the capital market. So each and every entity who want to deal in the capital market, and the intermediary want to deal in the capital market, they need to take the registration from the SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. So whenever you are choosing any intermediary to start dealing with, you just need to check the registration number, whether the entity is registered with the SEBI or not. Like when you open a bank account, you just check the background of the bank. So if you want to open a bank account with some cooperative bank and all, so you just check the status. If you want to open a small bank, you have not heard the name, but you are opening a bank account, you just check the status on the RBI website and all. So similarly, if you want to deal with any intermediary, just check the status on the website of the SEBI, whether the entity registered with SEBI or not. So that sebi.gov.in is the website of the SEBI. If you want to do an investment based on the advice, just seek advice only from the investment advisor, registered investment advisor. So rather than social media advisor or your friend, one of my friend came to me that just buy this stock, this will get doubled in 1 month's time, this will get triple in 2 months time. So just avoid using those tips. If you really want to take an advice, just appoint an investment advisor, and the investment advisor who is registered with the SEBI. Beware while dealing based on the unsolicited stock tips. So time to time, depositories, exchanges, SEBI do the investor education programs. So avoid just attend these programs to get more knowledge about the new initiative which SEBI or exchanges or the depository or MIIs have taken, and just new products which they are coming up with. So you may attend, and the list of these investor awareness programs are available on the SEBI website, on the exchanges website, on the depositories website also. You just need to visit these website. Just go to the investor section, and you will find the list of the investor education programs which are being lined up in near future. So you may attend those programs. So these programs are being conducted in both the mode. Few programs are being conducted in physical mode, few programs are being conducted through online mode also. So on the website of the depository and exchanges, they have given some study material also. Just download that study material, and that's very useful. If you are new to the investors, it's a very useful material. Just download that study material and go through that, and it is absolutely free of cost for enhancement of your knowledge about the capital market. Carefully review public disclosed company information. So all the public listed companies have disclosed some are required to disclose the information with the exchanges. Just time to time review those information on the exchanges website. Still, if you have any grievance, there's an option for grievance reversal also. For any grievance reversal, the first you need to approach your member with whom you have a grievance. If the members is not able to resolve your grievance, you may approach the respective depository or exchanges also. If you are not satisfied with that also, you may approach the SEBI. So SEBI have a grievance portal, the scores portal. You may just go to the scores portal of the SEBI and register your complaint. They have a mobile app also, that Salthi mobile app they have. So with that also, by using that mobile also, app also, you will be allowed to allowed to just lodge your grievance also, grievances and all. So that's basically an empowerment for the investors into the securities market. And lots of information, once you download this mobile app, lots of information you will be able to find out about the capital market. The lots of education materials you will be able to find out on that. Lots of information about the capital market will be able to find out on that mobile app. So newspaper advertisement, public notice for investors, time to time that are being published for the investors. If you are dealing in the capital market, just make a habit of just reading those newspaper advertisement or public notice for the investors. Don't get if we are using a digital banking kind of thing, just digital banking or digital services, just beware while doing any digital transactions. It's for your betterment. Whenever you trade, just few do's and don'ts. Whenever you trade, just deal only through the SEBI registered intermediary. Don't deal with any unregistered intermediary. Ensure that you have read all the mandated document and collect photocopy of the signed documents. Whatever documents you have given to the intermediary, the signed documents, just collect. Remember, just take the photocopies of the signed documents before submitting. If you are opening an online account, so you have the right to get the digitally signed or e-signed document on your email ID. So if you have not received, kindly ask for the digitally signed document of the information which you have given to your DP or member. Get a clear idea about the brokerage or other charges that are being levied by any intermediary, any broker or DP. Obtain a copy of all the documents which are being executed by you from the stockbroker, absolutely free of cost. Brokers or the members are not allowed to charge for providing the documents which you have signed, the copy of the documents. Some don'ts: don't deal with any unregistered intermediary. Don't execute any document with any intermediary without reading and understanding the content. If you are not able to understand the content, just please do not sign. If you are not able to understand the content, just ask for the information from the member. Don't trade on rumors. Some hot tips like we have already discussed. Don't share your internet trading password with anyone. So if you're doing in digital transactions, beware of while doing the digital transactions. Don't make any payment in cash to the stockbroker. We have discussed this. Any transaction in capital market is not allowed in cash. So all the transaction need to be done through bank account only. Don't issue check in the name of sub-broker or authorized persons. Just if either use the NEFT and all. So in the favor of main broker only. Don't issue any check in the name of sub-broker or the authorized person. The main broker, whenever you are opening an account, you will have the document related to information about the main broker. So any payment need to be done to the main broker only. Don't hesitate to approach concerned authorities to resolve disputes if any. If anything happens, if you have any grievances, any service related issue, just approach the authorities, respective authorities, to get your grievance resolved. Emotions में इंसान हमेशा गलती करता है. वो कहते हैं ना कि इमोशंस में हमेशा गलती करता है. इट्स योर हार्ड अर्न मनी. यू नीड टू बी वेरी केयरफुल while dealing into the stock market. Takeaway, that's the last slide. The takeaway, what are the takeaway that from this program for the investors? Update your contact details with your member DP. If you're dealing in capital market, even if you have any account, you have a bank account, you have a Demit account, trading account, any change in contact details, immediately get it updated with the respective bank, respective DP, respective broker, so that the information which are being given time to time from the by the members or by the DPs or by the banks, that is being circulated to you on time. So whenever there is a change in address, there is a change in mobile number, there is a change in email ID, immediately get it updated with your accounts. Any financial accounts you have, please get it updated with your accounts. Update your bank details in your Demit account. So it's quite important. Whenever there is change in bank details, when you have opened an account, you were having an bank account, but later on you change your bank account. So immediately get your bank details updated with your Demit account also, Demit account, trading account also. Why? Because time to time companies gives the dividend and dividend to the investors, to the shareholders, so that these dividends are being transferred directly to your bank account. So if you don't have your bank details updated with your bank with your Demit account, that dividend will not be transferred to you. That will not be because the details are being taken from the Demit account and the dividend are being transferred to your bank account directly. If you have not updated your bank details with your DP, so you will not be able to get that dividend. And one more thing is, whenever you doesn't claim your dividend for 7 consecutive years, the securities in your Demit account will be picked up by the IEPFA, that IEPF authorities, considering that Benami securities and all, you will be able to claim those securities from the IEPF authorities, but it will be picked up, initially it will be picked up from your account if you are not able to claim the dividend for any securities for 7 consecutive years. So kindly get your bank details updated, so that if any dividend is there, it will be you will get the dividend in your bank account directly on time. Register your nominee details in your Demit account. We have already discussed on this, that if there is a nominee in your account, if there is a nominee, nominee is not registered in your account, then the legal hire will face lots of issues for getting the claim of the securities. So please register your nominee, so that if something happens to the account holder, it's quite easy for the legal hirers, for the nominee to get the claim of the securities. Register and track your Demit account through for the online services and SMS facility. We have already discussed about the online services of the depository and SMS facility, and these facilities are absolutely free of cost. Just make use of these facilities, and if something happens to your Demit account, something happens with your trading account, please do not hesitate to approach the respective authorities. There is a proper investor grievance mechanism designed by the exchange, depositories, SEBI. If something happens, the exchanges, depositories and the regulators are here to help you. So that's all from my end. Thank you very much.
Critical है, but we are trying.
ये सब हुआ कैसे?
एक फोन आया था राजेश के पास। उसने कहा कि उनकी 1 करोड़ की लॉटरी निकली है और उसके लिए उसने बैंक डिटेल्स मांगी। राजेश ने सारी डिटेल्स दे दी। 1 घंटे के अंदर ही उनके बैंक अकाउंट से सारा पैसा साफ हो गया और वो यहाँ आ गए। हार्ट अटैक आया है।
देखा आपने, आपकी जरा सी असावधानी क्या कर सकती है। डिजिटल फ्रॉड करने वालों से सावधान रहें। अपनी बैंक डिटेल्स, अपना डेबिट या क्रेडिट कार्ड नंबर, एक्सपायरी डेट, CVV, OTP, पिन कभी किसी को ना बताएं। सावधान रहें, समझदार बनें।
IEPF अथॉरिटी द्वारा जनहित में जारी।
हाँ जी सुरेश जी, रिटायरमेंट के बाद जो प्रोविडेंट फंड आएगा उसका क्या करेंगे?
कुछ खास प्लान नहीं है, पड़ा रहेगा बैंक में, ब्याज आता रहेगा और क्या।
सुरेश जी, बैंक से कितना ब्याज आएगा? एक नई स्कीम बताता हूँ, उसमें पैसे लगा दो, साल भर में दुगने बल्कि चौगुना हो जाएगा। हाँ, बस कुछ नए मेंबर्स बनाने।
नहीं सुरेश जी, इन सब फालतू चक्करों में मत पड़िए। ये नए मेंबर बनाना, रातों रात करोड़पति बनाना, ऐसे सपने दिखाने वाली स्कीम से बचकर रहें। आप लालच में आकर नहीं, समझदारी से निवेश करें। नए मेंबर बनाओ, वर्ल्ड टूर पे जाओ, कमीशन पाओ या उपहार घर ले जाओ। ऐसे सपने दिखाने वाली स्कीम से बचकर रहें। ऐसी स्कीम्स धोखा हो सकती हैं।
IEPF अथॉरिटी, कॉर्पोरेट कार्य मंत्रालय द्वारा जनहित में जारी।
यार वो मेरे बचपन का दोस्त है, वो क्यों मुझसे झूठ कहने लगा? वो कह रहा था इस स्कीम में पैसा लगाने पर 6 महीने में 10 के 20,000 हो जाएंगे।
और तूने मान लिया?
ऐसा ऑफर कौन छोड़ता है? 10,000 के 20,000।
एक काम कर, ये ले 100 रुपये पकड़ना और जाके 10 किलो लड्डू लेके आ।
अबे पागल है क्या? 100 रुपए में 10 किलो लड्डू आते हैं? अबे इसके तो 1 किलो लड्डू भी नहीं आएंगे।
जब इतना जानता है तो ये नहीं जानता कि 6 महीने में 10,000 के 20,000 नहीं होते। समझदारी बढ़ा, लालच नहीं।
लालच में न आए, समझदारी बढ़ाएं। IEPF अथॉरिटी द्वारा जनहित में जारी।
Hello learners, I Dr. Divya Ojha, Academic Associate from School of Vocational Education and Training IGNOU welcomes you all to this session on your program Certificate in Fashion Design. Today's topic of discussion is entrepreneurship, that is one of the block of your course 4, that is BFD 074. So for the discussion on this topic entrepreneurship, today we have with us Program Coordinator Professor A.K. Gaba. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
So before starting the discussion on the topic entrepreneurship, the block 3, I would like to brief you about the course, and as you are aware, let me brief about the course and especially the course for BFDI 074. So as you know, this program Certificate in Fashion Design, it has 4 courses of 16 credits. So course 1, that is Fundamentals of Fashion Design. We have already covered some of the parts of that particular course through this live teleconferencing session and the online sessions. We have also covered the course 2, that is Basics of Pattern Making and Sieving, and course 3 is about Introduction to Fashion Industry, and course 4, on which we will discuss today, that is Communication and Entrepreneurship. It comprises of 3 blocks, that is block 1 is about social skills in business communication, block 2 is about fashion communication, and block 3 is entrepreneurship, that we will discuss today. So when you see your study material and the course structure, this particular block, entrepreneurship, it consists 7 units. So I will just read out the names of the unit. That unit 8 is about developing entrepreneurial qualities. Unit 9 is about basic idea generation. Unit 10 is about becoming an entrepreneur. Unit 11 is about setting up a small business enterprise. Unit 12 is about steps in managing an enterprise. And Unit 13 is about the online economy and e-marketing. Unit 14 is about careers in fashion. So this 7 units you have to study in this particular block, entrepreneurship, that we will discuss in today. Now I request sir to please give a brief discussion on the units. Let's start with the unit 8, that is developing an entrepreneurial qualities.
Thank you, Dr. Divya. Let me welcome all the viewers where you are, and this program is for those learners, those who have registered for this our fashion design program or planning to register for this July session onwards. And the registration process for this particular program is on. Those students and those people who want to enroll this particular program, they can visit from our IGNOU webpage, that is www.ignou.ac.in. And now let us discuss the discussion. Today topic is entrepreneurship in the context of fashion design. So why we need this particular topic? Entrepreneurship is actually a hot cake. Every learners would like to learn in every field, in every sector of our economy. But we have considered in the context of fashion design कि कुछ बच्चे जो फैशन डिज़ाइन के कोर्स करने के बाद क्या क्या एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी पर्सपेक्टिव हैं, कुछ लोग अपना बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं और कुछ लोग अपना एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी को जो जॉब के पर्सपेक्टिव तरफ देख रहे हैं. ये प्रोग्राम का जो ब्लॉक है पर्टिकुलर उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में डिज़ाइन किया गया है. अब कुछ बच्चे जो कह रहे हैं कि नहीं हमने तो ये फैशन डिज़ाइन का कोर्स किया है और हम अपना ही स्टार्टअप्स जो है स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं. काफ़ी गवर्नमेंट की स्कीम्स जो हैं, फंडिंग जो है वो मिल रही हैं, लेकिन आपकी जो कोर एरियाज़ हैं जिसके कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आपने ये प्रोग्राम जो सर्टिफिकेट फैशन डिज़ाइन किया है और इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आपने जो नॉलेज और स्किल्स एंड कॉम्पिटेंसीज गेन की हैं, वो चाहते हैं कि आप अपना स्टार्टअप्स के रूप में इसको इस्तेमाल करें. That is the purpose for designing this particular programs, and under that, as my colleague just briefed about these particular blocks, it contained almost 14 units. We are discussing 1 to 14 units, but the focus will be a brief, and today we have a limited time to discuss all these units, but we will try to cover as much as possible for this particularly entrepreneurship for the fashion design context. Because entrepreneurship, you can start this other sector as well, food security or other industry sectors. But here we are in this particular discussions, we are taking in the context of fashion design products and some of the very, very interesting experiences we have. Some of the students, those who passed out from this particular certificate program, they have started their own startups after getting lot of knowledge and skills for this particular blocks and our units what we have written here. So now coming to the topic discussion is particular this course for, I think Dr. Divya briefed about the details of our block structure. We are discussing again this course for block 3, that is entrepreneurship. This block consists of all 8, unit 8 of this particular block, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Dr. Divya already briefed. I will not take much time on that. But this particular discussion is unit 8. Just he asked me to focus on this particular unit, that is developing entrepreneurial qualities, attitudes and competencies and skills what we are discussing now. what type of competencies required when you are going to start your this outlet. This theory and practices case studies we have incorporated in this our discussion, and this unit is consisting of structure. As you have received the study material as well, you will be having the detailed workout of our course structure. You know, every unit and every course of particular these 4 courses what we discussed, and it consists of blocks and then units. Unit consists of structure. Structure basically give you brief idea about the structures of objectives, introduction, entrepreneurship, and then learning outcome. So we are discussing after studying this particular unit, you will be having knowledge and competency to identify certain characteristics and quality essential entrepreneurship activities. That is very, very important. And then you will be able to recognize the quality that can be developed to perform entrepreneurship functionally successfully. You are not having this particular theoretical knowledge. So our idea is to you will be a successful entrepreneur, and in the what type of characteristics as a startups you require to start in this particular case. So fashion products is not only a we are discussing a pattern making or products,
Yes.
or we are having apparel products. Is a whole design, and it depends upon the consumer taste. So when we are going to start, as we mentioned in our blog course 3 blog 2 also, we are telling where we discussed about the consumer taste in fashion products. So as a entrepreneur, when you are going to start up your products and sell in the particular locations, then you should have a customer taste and paying capacity. So entrepreneur, when you are going to investment in this particular startup business, you should have knowledge of particular concept what we have just discussed. Now coming to the particularly program of learning outcome, and this program have entrepreneurs. We have discussed in our previous discussion, which we have already dispatched to students as well YouTube recording,
Yes.
where we explain the basic conceptual framework of entrepreneurship
Yes.
in one of the earlier sessions. And earlier programs, as we recall, where learners, if you have already study materials you have studied, we have given some activities.
Yes.
Under that activities, learners, when they are studying this particular meaning and conceptual framework of entrepreneurship, they are coming to the particular course content that is called our entrepreneurship conceptual framework. Now actual framework what we are discussing, you see on screen, we explain entrepreneurship. What do you mean by entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is the characters and practice of a person who initiates, own and manage an enterprises. That is basically we are expecting as a learner, you are my entrepreneur, and we want to invest that entrepreneurship activity which are to be expected and explained in our text material what we have dispatched to you. So entrepreneurship also having this particular context of creativity and innovation. Entrepreneurship is not just to start the programs and giving explanation what we text explain, but as a particular entrepreneur you should have a knowledge of your particular entrepreneurship context and innovation and creativity ideas. So entrepreneurship and enterprises, we explain two different meaning. Enterprise and entrepreneurship, what do you mean? And that is we explain, and that is called the creativity and innovation activities. Now second most important point is who is entrepreneur, and we explain the definition of entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurs, you see, a person who identify a market. I just explained, as an entrepreneur you should have enough knowledge of particular geographical region where you are going to start your business and who will be your buyer and of the product, any product. It's not only fashion products, but any products, who are your buyers, to whom you want to sell your product. So an entrepreneur is a person who identify a market need and invest money or other resources to produce a product or service. They manage the business for a profit. So profit is a basic goal of our entrepreneur. Who will be identified? The person who is having the knowledge of selling the product in their particular regions and the quality and characteristics of the product, he or she can be called as a entrepreneur. But in additionally, if you see, lot of innovation is going on. Our government is giving a lot of support to our young creativities, innovations, learners, those who are having this innovation in their respective field. So if you see the list of entrepreneurship available on our webpage, Entrepreneurship Ministry of Skill and Development webpage, you can see, you will find lot of creativity is given. So accordingly, in the fashion design product, we have given these particular prospect that is called entrepreneurship. This is entrepreneurship. Now we come to the basic unit 8. We further explain the entrepreneurial competencies. What are the entrepreneurial competencies and qualities? You raise the goal setting. If you are entrepreneur, you should have a competency to set your goal. For instance, in other field and retail sectors, for if you are selling a product, so owner has given some target to sell the product in a day 500 quantity. So similarly, entrepreneurship, when you are starting your business, you have some target. I want to cater the needs of the particular geographical regions and to target my customers, those who will buy the product. At least if you are able to reach 50%, that goal we can say is satisfactory. That's why you have to take risk. We explain in this text material risk. That is risk taking and initiative taking and persistence. These are the characteristics of our entrepreneurship. And these characteristics we explain in detail our self-learning materials. And those learners who has not yet received, I'm sure everybody what we have a feedback, almost all our learners received our study materials. Suppose they missed out to locate their hard copies, they still can download from our IGNOU web page from EGNOU, where we all study material is there. In that text, we have explained the characteristics of our entrepreneurship, what we are discussing, what are the behavior of the entrepreneurship, and then we have given some lot of future skills. In every field, if you see the future skills identified by all industry across the globe, one of the most important future skills in every sector is problem solving. So we have also incorporated problem solving for the entrepreneurship in fashion design product. So therefore we have explained the self-confidence, that skills, soft skills we have given in this particular block and unit, and then come out the systematic planning and these all skills competencies we have discussed in this unit 8, that is entrepreneurship. And now very interesting query we received from the learners, sir, where we get this funding from this setup our own outlet of this entrepreneurship startups in fashion design area. There are a lot of resources available, and you can further visit our Government India sites and ministry sites or our IGNOU web page, where we have given some information for the innovation different sectors concerned. But in the fashion products concerned, there are a lot of courses and designs what we have discussed here, and the entrepreneurship perspective is why you would like to become an entrepreneurship. What are the advantages?
They have the question like, now we know that we have to become an entrepreneur. So what is the main advantages and why to become an entrepreneur?
Excellent, because learners, everybody want to get job.
Yes.
After getting degree or certificate.
They have confusion why not to get a job, why to become an entrepreneur.
Very good questions they are raising, because advantage is that, let me give a classical example of which I give other platforms as well. One person having a particular skill.
Yes.
And particular skills, and it is not possible to have applicable to all these sectors in vocational education or skill development concern. I am giving you example of this outlet of particularly automobile industry. For example, one of the new company started their businesses, and that businesses they were having some small tools requirement for selling that particular this vehicle they prepared to sell. And in the first instance, they booked 1 lakh booking to sell the product. Now they were facing some problem to get the particular product, that tool, which required in the wheel of the vehicles. The tool is the balancing of wheel, and they were not able to find out the industry. They were not able to find out the person who will supply them, because booking is already there. And now company faced problem. One of the head of the institutions were driving and going, then his driver asked, sir, what is the problem? Then he said, I am facing a problem of getting this tool for wheel balancing. That wheel balancing problem is, when we started this case, he said, I know how to make this particular tool. So in a village area, they started to experiment, and that particular skill, and he was able to make that tool, and he is a big entrepreneurship. There are a lot of case studies available, where success stories available on our IGNOU or other universities websites, you can see. So in the similar way, in the context of fashion design, one of the I think biggest fashion designers, and we have mentioned in our text also, Ritu, and you said one of the most successful fashion designers, and they are designing different way of the product. So it is not possible you sell your idea to others. It is best to implement your idea in your own entrepreneurs. So that is one of the biggest advantage is there. So instead of earning, while you can also earn while learning, but also implement as earn in the future perspective, give employability to others. So that's why the advantage is better income than the paid income. What we said just now, for getting job instead of getting started on entrepreneurship. And you are the master of your own business. You are not working under your boss. You are your own boss, and work according to the one's like and circumstances. Yes, it is not possible to. I want to implement my ideas, but my boss want to do work like some other ideas. So my idea is no respect. So I want to implement my own ideas. It's better to start my own startups and increase labor yield, increase income. Yes, definitely. If you are employing, and then it will contributing to others also to get their income, livelihood also. And one of the success stories are there in some public sectors and private sectors, case studies under CSR schemes, particularly textile and fashion design products. Some of the help groups people are being trained, and this particular program, certificate in fashion design from School of Vocational Education IGNOU, designed for every woman to livelihood. That's why we have given this entrepreneurship idea to come out, and basic idea is to generate surplus and economic independence. Yes, I don't want to depend on others, whether our all families, male or female, they want to earn by own individual. So this concept basically is advantage for setting up their own entrepreneurship and startups in the context of fashion design products. Now let me explain the brief. We have a very less time. As much as possible, we explain the entrepreneurship in this particular discussions. It's a very interesting discussions, and a lot of viewers are expecting to start their own employability perspective, whether job or whether their own startups. So this first and second idea is the business idea generation, how to create your ideas. We are discussing innovation and creativity. Now we are discussing how to create, and you see learning outcome of we explained in the text also. Learners are expected to generate ideas for business in the rural areas and village. So it is not necessary learners who are getting the certificate from IGNOU at the metro cities, they are going to start up their own business. We are expecting our learners, जो बच्चे इस प्रोग्राम को देख रहे हैं किसी स्मॉल टाउन से या गांव से, they can also start their business. That is basic idea. And secondly, you see, they will be able to analyze for the selection and rejection of idea generated. We give your respect of your ideas, but it is not possible to your idea to be accepted by someone. You start your idea and implement yourself, and then to describe the process of selection of business ideas and enable learners select product and sale. This basically process of business idea generation is the most important part for every entrepreneurship in all sectors. Now coming to the next point is, what is brainstorming session when we are getting these ideas? So usually we do brainstorming sessions. 4, 5, 6 experts are sitting and we are discussing this topic, and some emerging new idea come. If you see as an economics student, when a theory says 3 economists explain some particular definitions, when 3 economists sit together, they are explaining their own definition, conceptual framework, but when they discuss, 4th idea emerge. So that's why brainstorming session we have taken care of this, and then learners will be having use of existing products and services for this generating resources, because you have to see the document earlier published or unpublished documents, and there are also new idea, not only your own. If you see era of digital technology and digital era, everybody have social network and they can use Twitter, WhatsApp, and Facebook. You can see new ideas. They receive our celebrities are wearing new products, so they can get the idea from there. But they immediately not copy their idea, but they can have
some ideas
from their wearing and all that. So new idea may provide development of process and service to overcome these problems. These are the learning outcome of this particular unit, and we explain the rules for basics rules for brainstorming. There is no fundamental and hard and fast rule. This is perception of my own way to get ideas. We discussed among ourselves and peer groups and come out some beautiful ideas, and that idea to be implemented for the benefit of the societies, from the benefit of our target group. So all ideas and suggestions are welcome when you are conducting a brainstorming sessions for your product,
yes.
and you should welcome and the design. Suppose हमने एक बच्चों के लिए एक स्कूल यूनिफॉर्म्स का डिज़ाइन किया, and that designs we found कि other schools also having the same color or same designs, so we want some unique. We called some other group of peoples, and they give different ideas. So similarly we get the ideas, and we agreed that this idea will be good for our school childrens and our students, and this idea will also give strength to our recognitions in the society. This one of the idea I have just shared with all of you. Similarly, and we are having school bags ideas, and we design different way where logo is there in the schools. So school indirect marketing is also going on, and on the other hand side, customer and parents also, students parents also like this idea because they can see that this is a very good color or design is very nice, and they can carry a very proudly when they are going to schools kids. So these are different ideas. Just on the spot I have given this idea, but we have not explained our text. A text is giving rules. Rules is quantity and critical judgment and combination of improving the so many factors which required ideas and sort. That is basically rules for brainstorming. But brainstorming is one of the wonderful platform where we get new idea. Other way, you see, unit 10 we explain the becoming an entrepreneur. You should have it collect information regarding various business. Yes, it is not only fashion products is concerned. You collect informations when you start your entrepreneurship, other sectors, how they set up their business. So that experiences will also be helpful when you are going to start up your own. Then identify various business opportunities. Yes, and these days, as we mentioned in our course 3, Introduction to Fashion Industry, where we have explained in retailing, I think unit 5 and 6,
retailing.
So where we discussed about the identify new areas where retailing can be done. It is not only our business outlet in metro cities and district headquarters. These days, branded products are being demanded at the semi-urban and rural areas as well. So that market scope is huge in our fashion design products is concerned, and everybody wants the product should be reached in a very beautiful manners, whether it is rural or whether it is our urban areas. So we come out the taste point of view also, entrepreneurship, that is our gender wise, male, female, and old age wise, and our
like in the fashion field we can say that we can categorize according to the gender or the geographical sectors, so we can identify and become an entrepreneur in that particular sector
also. But basically entrepreneurship demand, if you are suppose designing some product and keeping in mind the target group of our age group 5 to 19 years, those who are going to school, or second group is 18 to 21 group, those who are going colleges, it will be different size of taste and different demand of product will be there. So you have to design this particular fashion product accordingly. I hope you enjoyed this session, and we will discuss in detail in the next session for this particular block.
So as we have covered all the sessions units, next unit we will cover in another session. If you have any query, you can write us at cfd@ignou.ac.in. Thank you.
Greetings of the day, learners. I'm Dr. Vijeta Vanwari, Associate Professor of Economics, School of Social Sciences. And I have with me Professor Narayan Prasad, Professor of Economics, School of Social Sciences. Today we are going to discuss about knowledge generation through Indian wisdom tradition. In this series, we took a session on 25th April also, and this session is an extension to that. In that session, we gave you an overview of knowledge generation. We discussed about what is knowledge according to Indian wisdom tradition. We discussed about empirical and trans-empirical knowledge. We also laid down conditions, eligibility conditions for acquiring knowledge. That was an overview. Today we are going to discuss in depth how knowledge is generated through Indian wisdom tradition. And for that area, Professor Narayan Prasad is an expert. Sir, I always have one question in my mind. Whenever we teach our research students, they are often confused between two words, knowledge and cognition. Are they same or are they different?
थैंक यू विजेता, बहुत ही उत्तम प्रश्न आपने किया है। रिसर्चर्स के लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है जानना, क्योंकि उनका मूल लक्ष्य है ज्ञान का सृजन, ज्ञान का उत्पादन। अब नॉर्मली कंसेप्चुअल में, नॉर्मली आम भाषा में ज्ञान और कॉग्निशन एक ही वर्ड, एक दूसरे के सिनोनिम समझे जाते हैं। पर भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा में, हमारी इंडियन विजडम ट्रेडिशन में ज्ञान और प्रमा दो शब्दों का इस्तेमाल हुआ है। संस्कृत साहित्य में प्रमा का अर्थ होता है वैलिड नॉलेज, यानी जो भी ज्ञान उत्पन्न होगा वो वैलिड ही होगा। वहाँ ज्ञान की ये जो कैटेगरीज हैं, सम्यक ज्ञान, विपरीत ज्ञान, संशयग्रस्त ज्ञान, ऐसी बात नहीं होती है। क्यों? क्योंकि प्रमा का मतलब है केवल सम्यक ज्ञान, बिल्कुल ठीक ज्ञान, यथार्थता का ज्ञान, जो वस्तुस्थिति जैसी है वैसा ज्ञान। तो ये है ज्ञान और प्रमा, दो शब्द हुए हैं। प्रमा का अर्थ होता है वैलिड नॉलेज। अब प्रश्न होगा कि नॉलेज से क्या मतलब है, यानी नॉलेज का मतलब प्रमा से क्या अर्थ है। तो प्रमा का अर्थ हमारे भारतीय 6 दर्शन हैं, जिसमें मैं नाम बता दूं, एक सांख्य है, न्याय है, वैशेषिक है, योग है, पूर्व मीमांसा है और उत्तर मीमांसा है। तो न्याय दर्शन ने बताया, क्योंकि न्याय दर्शन बेसिकली उस ज्ञान की ज़्यादा विस्तार से चर्चा करता है जो एम्पिरिकल नॉलेज है, यानी जो हम लोगों के देखने में आता है। तो उन्होंने कहा ज्ञान का अर्थ है कि कोई भी पदार्थ का मैनिफेस्टेशन। मैनिफेस्टेशन का मतलब है कि वो जो जैसी वस्तु है वैसी वस्तु का ज्ञान, अर्थात वस्तु की प्रकृति क्या है, उसके गुण क्या हैं, एक वस्तु का दूसरी वस्तु से क्या संबंध है, और वो जैसी प्रकृति आज है वो कहीं भी देखी जाए वही प्रकृति पता लगे। तो इस चीज़ का जो ज्ञान है वही कहलाती है प्रमा। परंतु वेदांत में, जिसको हम उत्तर मीमांसा भी कहते हैं, उन्होंने ज्ञान की और थोड़ी वृहद परिभाषा दी और उसको बहुत ही स्ट्रिक्ट कर दिया, और उन्होंने संस्कृत में 4 शब्दों का इस्तेमाल किया। एक है, वो ज्ञान है अबाधितम, अनधिगतम और संशय रहितम। ये जो निस्संदेहम जो ज्ञान है, अर्थात ऐसा ज्ञान जो अनधिगतम। अनधिगतम का मतलब है कि जो प्रमाणांतर से, अर्थात अभी हम प्रमाण पर बाद में आएंगे, कि प्रमाण के बदलने से, स्थान के बदलने से, समय के बदल से वो ज्ञान बाधित नहीं होता है, वो ज्ञान में कोई परिवर्तन नहीं आता है। और अबाधितम, अबाधितम का मतलब जिसे नेगेट नहीं किया जा सकता, यानी इसे ये नहीं कह सकते कि नहीं है, यानी इतनी निस्संदेहता उसमें रहती है। और संशय रहित ज्ञान, संशय विपर्य से रहित ज्ञान, और स्मृति विलक्षणम, स्मृति जन्य ज्ञान से विलक्षण होता है। क्योंकि वेदांतियों ने ऐसा माना कि जो स्मृति जन्य ज्ञान है वो तो पूर्व का अर्जित हुआ ज्ञान है, उसमें कोई नया ज्ञान तो होता नहीं है। इसलिए ज्ञान की दो मूलभूत विशेषताएं बताई, एक तो ये ट्रुथ हो और नोवेल्टी हो। नोवेल्टी का अभिप्राय है कि न केवल सत्य हो बल्कि नूतन भी हो, यानी पुराना घिसा पिटा ज्ञान को ज्ञान की श्रेणी में हम यहाँ पर नहीं मानते। तो इस प्रकार से अब अगर देखें तो ज्ञान परंपरा को दो मूल रूप से भागों में विभाजित किया। एक ज्ञान जो एम्पिरिकल है, प्रत्यक्ष जन्य ज्ञान है, जो हमारी आंखों के सामने ऑब्जेक्टिव नॉलेज है, और एक ऐसा भी ज्ञान है जो स्वयं का ज्ञान है। तो ये जो स्वयं का ज्ञान है इसे कह दिया ट्रांस एम्पिरिकल नॉलेज, आध्यात्मिक ज्ञान भी कहते हैं, कई शब्द प्रयोग होते हैं। तो इस प्रकार से ज्ञान को परिभाषित किया।
Thank you, sir. I think our students have understood the basic difference between knowledge and cognition. So, knowledge is always valid, whereas cognition may be false and may change according to situations. Now, another question that comes into my mind is, sir, how it has been conceptualized and what is the process of knowledge generation?
ये है और भी महत्वपूर्ण प्रश्न। एक्चुअली ज्ञान के सृजन में चार मूल तत्व शामिल होते हैं, चार कारक होते हैं। उनमें सबसे पहला है प्रमाता, अंग्रेजी में हम कह सकते हैं उसे सब्जेक्ट। प्रमाता नोअर, जानने वाला। दूसरा होता है प्रमेय, प्रमेय माने ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ नॉलेज, यानी नॉलेज किस चीज की, वो प्रमेय कहलाता है। और तीसरा होता है प्रमाण, प्रमाण का मतलब है मीन्स टू नो, सोर्स ऑफ नॉलेज। और चौथा है इन तीनों का, इस प्रक्रिया का जो परिणाम होगा, फलश्रुति होगी, वो होगी प्रमिति, जिसे हम प्रमा भी कहते हैं, हम ज्ञान भी कह सकते हैं। तो इन चारों के जो संयोग से ये जो ज्ञान की प्रक्रिया का उद्भव होता है। तो अब प्रश्न आता है कि ये किस तरीके का रिलेशन है इनमें। ये चार फैक्टर्स इन्वॉल्व तो होते हैं, लेकिन एक है सब्जेक्ट। सब्जेक्ट माने कोई भी सब्जेक्ट, यानी व्यक्ति, और व्यक्ति की यानी ह्यूमन बीइंग की कुछ खास विशेषताएं होती हैं। पहला तो वो रीजन होता है उसके पास, माइंड, ही इज एंडाउड विद द माइंड एंड इंटेलेक्ट, इसलिए वो सोच सकता है। और जब सोचेगा तो निश्चित रूप से उसके मन में प्रश्न भी पैदा होंगे। इसलिए भारत की ज्ञान परंपरा इंक्वायरी बेस्ड है, क्योंकि वो सब्जेक्ट है उसमें। अब सब्जेक्ट किस चीज, यानी नॉलेज बिलोंग्स टू हुम, इसके उत्तर में आएगा सब्जेक्ट। और नॉलेज अबाउट व्हाट, इसका उत्तर आएगा ऑब्जेक्ट, अर्थात प्रमेय हम बोलते हैं संस्कृत की भाषा में से। तो एक प्रमाता हो गया, एक प्रमेय हो गया। अब इन खाली प्रमाता और प्रमेय से ज्ञान का सृजन नहीं हो सकता। मान लीजिए कि कोई विषय है, प्रमाता भी है, परंतु उस विषय का ज्ञान नहीं होगा जब तक कि प्रमाण उसमें शामिल नहीं किया जाएगा। तो ये जो प्रमाता और प्रमेय केवल ज्ञान का सृजन नहीं कर सकते, तो उसमें प्रमाण की भूमिका उत्पन्न होती है। अब प्रश्न होता है कि प्रमाण से क्या मतलब है, मीन्स टू नो। जैसे मैं बहुत हल्का सा उदाहरण देना चाहूँगा। जैसे हम आँखों से देखते हैं, मान लीजिए कि कोई ऑब्जेक्ट हमारे साथ हमारे पास है या कहीं दूर रखा हुआ है, और मैं भी हूँ, यानी ऑब्जेक्ट और सब्जेक्ट दोनों प्रेजेंट हैं, लेकिन आँख किसी की बंद है, तो वो कैसे देखेगा? तो देखने और देखेगा नहीं तो ज्ञान नहीं हो सकता। तो सब्जेक्ट और ऑब्जेक्ट दोनों की प्रेजेंस रहने के बावजूद भी ज्ञान नहीं होगा जब तक कि प्रमाण उसमें शामिल नहीं किया जाएगा। तो अब सवाल है कि ये जो प्रमिति अर्थात प्रमा और प्रमाण का कैसा रिलेशन है। जैसे कि हम कहते हैं ना, कॉज एंड इफेक्ट रिलेशनशिप, कारण और परिणाम संबंध। तो जब प्रमाण होगा तो ही प्रमिति का जन्म होगा, नहीं तो प्रमिति नहीं हो सकती, भले ही सब्जेक्ट और ऑब्जेक्ट दोनों बने रहें। अब अगला प्रश्न आता है कि सब्जेक्ट और ऑब्जेक्ट रहें तो बिना सब्जेक्ट के भी ज्ञान का सृजन नहीं होगा। मान लीजिए दो ऑब्जेक्ट रखें और प्रमाण भी हो, लेकिन जानने वाला ना हो, नोअर ना हो, तो भी ज्ञान की उत्पत्ति नहीं होगी। और ये जो लिंकेज है प्रमाता, प्रमाण और प्रमेय, ये जो लिंकेज है, ये एक तरीके से एक चेन प्रक्रिया है, ज्ञान की प्रक्रिया जो है वो चेन की तरीके से लिंक है। तो एंटीसीडेंट जो हैं इसमें बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स होते हैं, उसमें मैं चर्चा करूंगा अभी। तो उसमें ये जो है इमीडिएट ज्ञान पैदा करता है, यानी एंटीसीडेंट बहुत ज़रूरी है, लेकिन ये जो है जैसे ही इन तीनों का संयोग होगा तो ज्ञान तुरंत होगा, उसमें डिले नहीं होता, उसमें लेट नहीं होता है। जैसे आपके सामने कोई वस्तु रखी हुई है और ये आपकी विल पर डिपेंड नहीं करेगा। प्रमाण की एक और ब्यूटी है, ये कोई पदार्थ आपके सामने है तो ये आप विल करें कि भाई मैं देखूं कि नहीं देखूं, अगर आँख खुली है और सामने ऑब्जेक्ट है तो आपको जरा दिखाई देगा। तो इसलिए हमारी ज्ञान परंपरा में ये जो ज्ञान है ये वस्तु तंत्र है, पुरुष तंत्र नहीं है। अब आप कहेंगे वस्तु तंत्र और पुरुष तंत्र कहाँ से ले आए? वस्तु तंत्र का मतलब है कि वो विल पर डिपेंड नहीं करता, पुरुष तंत्र का मतलब उस किसी व्यक्ति की इच्छा पर निर्भर करता है। तो ज्ञान प्रमाणजन्य है, और जो चीज प्रमाणजन्य होगी वो निसंदिग्ध होगी, उसमें संदेह की कोई गुंजाइश नहीं होगी। जब एक अगली बात ये भी है कि चूंकि व्यक्ति सब्जेक्ट है तो सब्जेक्ट की खास बातें हैं कि ये सब्जेक्ट के पास दो चीज होती है, रीजन होता है उसके पास और विल होती है। तो रीजन का परिणाम क्या होता है कि वो व्यक्ति, उसके इमोशंस होते हैं, उसकी इच्छाएं होती हैं, एक्शन भी करता है, और वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा खुशी रहना चाहता है, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा शांतप्रिय रहना चाहता है, खुशी मिले। तो यहाँ पर इस सब्जेक्ट के कंपोनेंट इंक्लूडेड होने के इम्प्लीकेशन ये है कि ज्ञान का विस्तार हो जाता है, ज्ञान की बहुत सारे क्षेत्र हो जाते हैं। कैसे? ये ज्ञान ऐसा, एक तो पश्चिम वाले लोग तो ज्ञान का समझते हैं कि वो ज्ञान तभी पैदा होगा जब हम किसी चीज़ को क्वांटिफाई करेंगे, मेजर करेंगे। लेकिन बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें हमारे विचार में होती हैं, हमारे जीवन व्यवहार होती हैं जिनको मेजर नहीं कर सकते। जैसे मान लीजिए भावनाएं हैं, इमोशंस हैं, किसी व्यक्ति की लाइक्स एंड डिसलाइक्स हैं, एटीट्यूड्स हैं, आदमी के मनोवेग हैं। तो इनका ज्ञान कैसे मेजर करोगे आप? तो क्या ये ज्ञान के विषय नहीं है? ज्ञान के विषय हैं। और दूसरी चीज, व्यक्ति को भय लगता है तो भय से मुक्त होना चाहता है वो। तो ये भय से मुक्त कैसे होगा? भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा कहती है वो ज्ञान से मुक्त हो सकता है। भय भी दूर हो जाएगा, तृष्णा भी दूर हो जाएगी, कामना भी, क्रोध भी, सब कुछ दूर हो सकते हैं। उस किससे साथ है? वस्तुओं से नहीं, पदार्थों से नहीं, ज्ञान के माध्यम से। ज्ञान के माध्यम से आप शांतप्रिय हो सकते हो, क्रोध से मुक्ति पा सकते हो, राग से, द्वेष से, ईर्ष्या से, मात्सर्य से, इनसे भी मुक्त हो सकते हो। ऐसी है हमारे ज्ञान की परंपरा। अब सवाल ये आता है कि जब इतना बड़ा ज्ञान का विस्तार है तो ये ज्ञान कितने तरह का होता है? अब ज्ञान का वर्गीकरण हम कैसे करें? इसके लिए भी दो आधार हो सकते हैं ज्ञान के वर्गीकरण के। एक तो ऑब्जेक्ट के आधार पे, किस ऑब्जेक्ट की जानकारी आप कर रहे हैं। वो ऑब्जेक्ट कोई स्थूल पदार्थ हो सकता है, सूक्ष्म पदार्थ हो सकता है। तो ऐसा सभी ज्ञान जो अपने से इतर, अपने से भिन्न किसी भी विषय का ज्ञान, वो कैसा ज्ञान होगा? ऑब्जेक्टिव नॉलेज। यानी उसका फोकस, केंद्र बिंदु क्या होगा ज्ञान का? पदार्थ। वो पदार्थ चाहे स्थूल हो, चाहे सूक्ष्म हो, या कोई व्यक्ति हो, स्थान हो, किसी भी चीज़ की जानकारी। जितने भौतिक विज्ञान के विषय हैं, चाहे इकोनॉमिक्स का ज्ञान हो, चाहे आपका साइंस का हो, चाहे फिजिक्स हो, मैथमेटिक्स हो, ये सभी विषयों का जो ज्ञान है ये बेसिकली अपने से इतर है, ऑब्जेक्टिव नॉलेज पर है। तो ये किसके आधार पर वर्गीकरण किया हमने? प्रमेय के आधार पर। प्रमेय अगर किसी पदार्थ का ज्ञान कराती है तो वो प्रमेय क्या है? वो है ऑब्जेक्टिव नॉलेज। लेकिन एक ऐसी भी नॉलेज है जो जहां सब्जेक्ट ही अपना इंक्वायरी का विषय हो जाता है। जैसे कि मैं क्या हूं, हु एम आई, मैं क्या हूं, कोहम कुतोहम, मैं कौन हूं, मैं कहां से आया हूं, ये मृत्यु क्या है, क्या सचमुच में मृत्यु होती है, क्या सचमुच में पुनर्जन्म होता है तो इसकी क्या प्रक्रिया है। इन सब का भी ज्ञान भारत की ज्ञान परंपरा में विस्तार से वर्णन किया गया है।
सब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड ज्ञान कहेंगे
ये
सर
इसे कहते हैं हम सब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड, सब्जेक्ट फोकस ज्ञान, या इसे ट्रांस एम्पिरिकल नॉलेज कह लीजिए, आप इसे हायर नॉलेज कह लीजिए, आप इसे एब्सोल्यूट नॉलेज कह लीजिए, बहुत तरीके से इसका वर्गीकरण अलग अलग कंटेक्स्ट के हिसाब से अलग अलग नाम दे दिया। और अलग अलग हमारे जैसे बौद्ध दर्शन ने कहा कि ये जो है रिलेटिव और एब्सोल्यूट नॉलेज, उपनिषद ने कहा हायर नॉलेज है, ये लोअर नॉलेज है, लेकिन है ज्ञान। हायर नॉलेज क्यों है? क्योंकि अपने बारे में खुद का ज्ञान जो है वो थोड़ा सा मुश्किल ज्ञान होता है। तो उस ज्ञान, लेकिन उस ज्ञान के लाभ बहुत हैं। उस ज्ञान के लाभ हैं कि आप काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह इनसे भी मुक्त हो जाएंगे, आप कामनाओं से मुक्त हो जाएंगे, आपको सब लोग अपने जैसे लगने लगेंगे, यानी सब लोगों से प्रेम कैसे हो। तो ऐसा ज्ञान जो है हायर नॉलेज
सर,
है।
एक क्वेश्चन मेरे माइंड में आ रहा है, जैसे अगर कभी हमारा फोकस ऑब्जेक्ट भी है और सब्जेक्ट भी है, हमारी खुद की परसेप्शन भी, जो हमारी खुद के बारे में सोच है वो भी हमारी परसेप्शन को अफेक्ट कर रही है, तो ऐसी नॉलेज को कैसे जनरेट करेंगे?
नहीं, खुद की परसेप्शन से मैं मतलब समझा नहीं आपका। खुद की परसेप्शन मतलब
जैसे कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट है, उसके बारे में हम क्या सोचते हैं, ये हमारे थॉट्स, हमारी फीलिंग्स भी अफेक्ट करते हैं, डिफाइन करते हैं।
हाँ,
कोई चीज़ है, मान लीजिए वो हो सकता है मुझे पसंद आए, किसी और को पसंद ना आए, तो हम इसको ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड कहेंगे या सब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड कहेंगे?
देखिए, इंक्वायरी एक पहली चीज तो है कि यहाँ का जो ज्ञान है वो इंक्वायरी पर बेस्ड है, बिलीफ पे बेस्ड नहीं है।
हाँ जी।
और जब इंक्वायरी होगी तो इंक्वायरी में आपका जो प्रश्न था कि कई बार इंक्वायरी में हमारे इमोशंस, हमारे बाइसेस, हमारी लाइक्स और डिसलाइक्स भी अफेक्ट करते हैं।
जी,
निश्चित रूप से क्यों करते हैं? क्योंकि गहरे में देखा जाए तो हम अपने निरपेक्ष रूप से किसी चीज़ को इसलिए नहीं देख पाते क्योंकि हमारे अपने जो राग द्वेष हैं, उस राग द्वेष से हमारा मन प्रभावित होता है और उसी चश्मे से फिर हम देखते हैं। तो वो नॉलेज बिल्कुल इम्पार्शियल नहीं हो पाती है।
उसको हम कॉग्निशन कहेंगे।
हाँ, उसको हम कॉग्निशन कह सकते हैं, कॉग्निशन कह सकते हैं। लेकिन वो इंक्वायरी फिर कई बार हमें इसीलिए कहा गया है कि जो एम्पिरिकल नॉलेज का जो वेरिफिकेशन है वो कई बार करना पड़ता है। कि हो सकता है एक आदमी का कुछ बायसेज हो, दूसरे का हो, तीसरे का हो, लेकिन जब रिजल्ट्स कई बार से टेस्ट होकर के वही देते हैं तब फिर वो बायसेज दूर हो जाते हैं। वो ज्ञान जो है वो काफ़ी साइंटिफिक और सिस्टमेटिक हो जाता है। तो मैं चर्चा कर रहा था कि ये जो ज्ञान है ये दो तरीके का ज्ञान है। अब एक ज्ञान का वर्गीकरण प्रमाण के आधार पर भी होता है। जैसे कौन सा प्रमाण आप इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं। हमारी भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा में 6 प्रमाणों की चर्चा आती है। प्रमाण का मतलब मीन्स टू नो। कौन सा मेथड भी कह सकते हैं आप आम भाषा में। तो हमारे 6 प्रमाण बताए गए हैं, जिसमें सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट प्रमाण है प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण, दूसरा है अनुमान प्रमाण, तीसरा है ये मैं अंग्रेजी में बता दूं सिमिली उपमान प्रमाण, और चौथा है नॉन कॉग्निशन, और 5वां है पोस्टुलेशन। तो अर्थापत्ति है एक। तो ये जो 5 प्रमाण हैं बेसिकली एम्पिरिकल नॉलेज को, ऑब्जेक्टिव नॉलेज को की इंक्वायरी करने के लिए प्रयोग होते हैं, 5 प्रमाण। लेकिन एक प्रमाण ऐसा है जो ट्रांस एम्पिरिकल नॉलेज के लिए इस्तेमाल होता है, यूज होता है। वो कहते हैं शब्द प्रमाण, श्रुति प्रमाण, या अंग्रेजी में कहें तो वर्बल टेस्टिमोनी भी कहते हैं उसे। तो अब सवाल ये था है कि ये जो नॉलेज हमने जनरेट करते हैं, एक तो ज्ञान किसी भी विषय का हो गया, लेकिन वो ज्ञान क्या वैलिड है या इनवैलिड है इसे कैसे जाने? क्योंकि रिसर्च में आपने जाना होगा कि जो भी हम अपने कंक्लूजन्स ड्रॉ करते हैं वो कंक्लूजन्स को वैलिडेट करना पड़ता है कि क्या वो वाकई रिलायबल है, ट्रुथ के कितने नज़दीक हैं।
जी।
ये तो देखना पड़ेगा। तो इस विषय पर भी काफ़ी विचार मंथन भारतीय दार्शनिकों के बीच में हुआ। तो और पश्चिम के दार्शनिकों के बीच में भी हुआ। पश्चिम की दिक्कत क्या है कि वो जो कई थ्योरीज उन्होंने बताई ट्रुथ की, आज मैं विस्तार से इस पर चर्चा नहीं करूंगा, उसे हम अगले लेक्चर में लेंगे। करस्पॉन्डेंस थ्योरी ऑफ ट्रुथ, टेंटेटिव थ्योरी ऑफ ट्रुथ, कंसेंसस थ्योरी ऑफ ट्रुथ, और प्रैग्मेटिक थ्योरी ऑफ ट्रुथ। इस तरीके से उन्होंने 5-6 सत्य के सिद्धांतों की रचना की कि भाई एक क्राइटेरिया बताए कि हम जो नॉलेज जनरेट होती है उस ज्ञान का हम परीक्षण कैसे करें कि वो ज्ञान सत्य है या असत्य है। भारतीय दार्शनिकों ने भी इस पर काफ़ी विचार मंथन किया। तो मूल रूप से दो विचारधाराएं प्रकट हुई। पहला तो न्याय दर्शन। न्याय दर्शन ने कहा कि भाई ज्ञान जो पैदा होता है वो कुछ कंडीशंस होती हैं ज्ञान पैदा करने की, एक स्पेशल कंडीशन और एक जनरल कंडीशंस। स्पेशल कंडीशन क्या है कि कोई भी ज्ञान जो प्रत्यक्ष ज्ञान होगा वो प्रकर्षेण मीयते अनया इति, यानी कोई भी पदार्थ या ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ नॉलेज जब हमारी किसी इंद्रियों के संपर्क में आता है तो एक तो उस संपर्क में आना चाहिए तब ज्ञान होगा, ये है स्पेशल कंडीशन। अगर कोई विषय हमारे इंद्रियों का विषय बनता ही नहीं है तो ज्ञान नहीं होगा। लेकिन ये कंडीशन कंप्लीट नहीं है। और भी कंडीशन है कि कम से कम हमारी वो इंद्रिय है वो हेल्दी होनी चाहिए। हमारी आंख में किसी के में कुछ खराबी है तो वो देखना चाहे तो नहीं देख पाएगा। इसी तरीके से कान में कोई ऊंचा सुनता है और कोई शब्द बोलेगा तो सुनाई नहीं देगा, तो वो ज्ञान ठीक से नहीं होगा। तो हेल्दी कंडीशन ऑफ द सेंसेस। और दूसरा जो विषय है, यानी विषयी और विषय अर्थात प्रमाता और प्रमेय के बीच में जो डिस्टेंस है वो बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए। और अगर बहुत ज़्यादा डिस्टेंस है तो कोई इंस्ट्रूमेंट साइंटिफिक ऑपरेटर्स लगाना पड़ता है। जैसे हम आजकल तो बहुत बड़ी बड़ी दूरों तक सैटेलाइट के थ्रू या और इंस्ट्रूमेंट के थ्रू हम देख सकते हैं कि भाई वो चीज़ क्या है, तो इंस्ट्रूमेंट का उपयोग करना पड़ेगा। तीसरा चीज ये तो दूरी का भी होना चाहिए और प्रकाश भी होना चाहिए। मान लीजिएगा आप लाइट कर दें और कहें तो देखो तो नहीं देख सकते। तो ये 3-4 ये हैं एक्सटर्नल कंडीशंस। एक्सटर्नल कंडीशंस जब तक नहीं होगी तब तक भी ज्ञान वैलिड
नहीं हो सकता,
जो नॉलेज की जो वैलिडिटी है वो नहीं होगी। तो ये है एक्सटर्नल कंडीशंस। अब प्रश्न आता है कि जो ज्ञान उत्पन्न हुआ इन कंडीशंस मान लीजिए वैलिड हैं, तो वो जो वैलिडिटी ऑफ नॉलेज है ये ट्रू है या फॉल्स है, ये कैसे जानेंगे? तो इसके ऊपर दो प्रकार के मतभेद हुए। एक न्याय दार्शनिकों ने बताया कि नहीं, इतना सफिशिएंट नहीं है। जिस विषय का आपको ज्ञान होता है उस विषय के लिए एक और ज़रूरी है, वो ट्रू है कि नहीं है, कि वो किसी एक्टिविटी में किसी एक्शन में लगाता है कि नहीं,
एप्लीकेबल है कि नहीं।
एप्लीकेबल नहीं, एक्शन ओरिएंटेड होना चाहिए।
अच्छा।
जैसे कोई मान लीजिए कि आपने कुछ पानी या कोई ऐसी चीज देखी तो आपके अंदर सेंसेशन होना चाहिए।
अच्छा।
अगर सेंसेशन नहीं है तो फिर वो ज्ञान वैलिड नहीं है। उन्होंने उदाहरण दिया इसका, जैसे कि कभी कभी हम क्या काम करते हैं भ्रमवश, कभी दूर कहीं रेता पड़ा हो, बालू पड़ा हो और हमारी दूरी हो तो हम उसको पानी समझने लगते हैं। ऐसे ही कभी मान लीजिए कि थोड़ा सा उजाला है और उसमें रस्सी पड़ी है, हमें सर्प की भ्रांति हो जाती है। तो ये क्या है, ये भ्रामिक, ये भ्रमपूर्ण ज्ञान है, ये वैलिड नॉलेज नहीं है, ट्रू नॉलेज नहीं है। तो इसलिए वो एक्शन के लिए भी हो। लेकिन दूसरे जो पर्टिकुलरली सांख्य, मीमांसक और वेदांती ने कहा कि नहीं, नॉलेज जो है जो भी पैदा होती है, चूंकि प्रमा को हमने पहले ही डिफाइन कर दिया कि सम्यक ज्ञान हो, और सम्यक ज्ञान में और ट्रू किया वो सेल्फ एविडेंट होता है। उसके लिए तो इंट्रांजिक यानी सेल्फ एविडेंट है, अर्थात ये जो एक्सटर्नल कंडीशंस हैं, अगर ये एक्सटर्नल कंडीशंस प्रॉपर हैं और हमें ज्ञान हो रहा है तो वो सेल्फ एविडेंट है, हमें खुद ही पता चल रहा है कि हमें ज्ञान वो वैलिड है कि ना। दूसरा उन्होंने बताया कि जैसे किसी ज्ञान को प्रमाणित करने के लिए कि वो ज्ञान सही है कि नहीं है, वो वही प्रमाण काम में आएगा। जैसे किसी चीज को हमने देखा और हमें भ्रम हुआ कि पता नहीं ये आदमी ये है या एक्स है या वाई है, तो अब वो कंफर्मेशन करने के लिए कि एक्स है या वाई है, हमें आंखों का ही प्रयोग करना पड़ेगा
जी,
हमें देखना ही पड़ेगा। ये दूसरी बात है कि कम दिखाई दे रहा है तो हम चश्मा लगा लें या और कोई चीज़ लगा लें, लेकिन जो प्रमाण है वो प्रमाण वही रहेगा। इसलिए एवरी प्रमाण ही स्वतः प्रमाण, एवरी प्रमाण ही स्वतः प्रमाण। तो ये जो ज्ञान है ये उन्होंने बताया कि इंट्रांजिक जो क्राइटेरिया है इसे बोलते हैं इंट्रांजिक, और न्याय दर्शन ने कहा कि एक्सट्रिंजिक कंडीशंस होती हैं। जैसे उन्होंने बताया कि कर्म में जो एक्शन में हमें अगर लगाता है तो वो ट्रू नॉलेज है, अदरवाइज तो उस नॉलेज पे अभी प्रश्नवाचक का चिन्ह लग सकता है। तो ये क्राइटेरिया बताए वैलिडेशन ऑफ नॉलेज के।
जी।
अब एक और महत्वपूर्ण प्रश्न है जिसे मैं जल्दी से पूरा करना चाहूँगा,
हाँ जी।
कि नॉलेज की जनरेशन की प्रक्रिया क्या है। इसमें हमारे भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा में 3 स्टेप्स बताए। सबसे पहले क्या बताया कि किसी ऑब्जेक्ट नॉलेज के लिए हमारा मन जो है इंद्रियों के माध्यम से बहिर्गम जाता है, ऑब्जेक्ट की तरफ जाता है, पहला स्टेप। दूसरा स्टेप क्या है कि वहां वो जा करके उसका एक फोटो, एक उसकी वृत्ति बनती है जिसे कहते हैं मनोवृत्ति या बुद्धिवृत्ति, वो हमारे चित्त में उसका फोटो खींचता है। ये दूसरी स्टेज हो गई। तीसरी स्टेज क्या हुई, हमारी जो कॉन्शियसनेस है, कोई लोग सोल बोल देते हैं, तो वो जो कॉन्शियसनेस उसको प्रकाशित करती है, उसको एनलाइटन करती है, उसे इल्यूमिन करती है, तो उस प्रकाश से विषय का ज्ञान होता है। बुद्धि के तल पर ये पता लगता है कि ये चीज़ है, इसका इससे रिलेशन है, इसकी ये क्वालिटीज़ हैं, ये इसकी प्रकृति ये है। इस प्रकार से सारी वस्तुओं की जानकारी हमें, तो ये 3 स्टेप्स के माध्यम से हमारी जो ज्ञान प्रक्रिया है, इसे हम अगर टेक्निकल लैंग्वेज में तो इसे कहते हैं कॉन्टेक्ट थ्योरी ऑफ परसेप्शन, अर्थात हमारे विषय इंद्रियों के सन्निकर्ष में आया, उनके संपर्क में आया, और संपर्क में आ जाने से हमारे चित्त में उसकी मनोवृत्ति बनी, और मनोवृत्ति को बुद्धि ने कॉन्शियसनेस के प्रकाश से प्रकाशित होकर के विषय की पहचान की, उसका ज्ञान हुआ।
जी, there are so many other questions in our mind and there are so many other things that we would like to know, but time doesn't permit. We will continue with this series. We will know more about knowledge generation through Indian wisdom tradition in more videos. Thank you.